Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Up the Guts podcast. Joining as always is your host, Tricky, and I am the only person on the podcast this week, purely because the boys are just busy a bit. Normally, we would take the week off, but I thought it's too big of a week to not talk about some of the things that's happening. So I said, why not just jump on it myself? And just so you guys know, we do have a big guest plan coming up in the next few weeks, so look out for that. But I just wanted to talk about the bizarre week that we had in the footy mainly. So obviously with the big news of Lance Buddy Franklin retiring, I thought it would be rude not to go on and make an episode and honour some of his stuff. Obviously, Buddy would be one of the greatest players that we've ever seen actually play the game. Like, some of his stats speak to himself: 354 games, 1,066 goals, a 2-time premiership player, an 8-time All-Australian, a 4 times Coleman. He's a 6-time Hawthorn leading goal kicker, a 7-time Sydney leading goal kicker, and he's also won the goal of the year 2 times. Now, I put it out, and let me know in the comments as well before I end this. What is your favourite Buddy moment? And I've got a few. So one of my favourite Buddy moments would have to be the Cale Hooker goal of the year.
Lewis called his teammate Burgoyne out, kicks it up towards the wing. Buddy Franklin goes back. Advantage is paid. It's a one-man fatwa. He's away, running down towards the 50. Can he do it again? Man running back towards the goal square. Needs to be closer. He can't bounce it through. He kicks it through on the full.
That was, I believe, the 2010 one or 2013. Where he ran, and it was something unusual about Buddy I found. When he went on, he was known to go on a bit of a run and have a couple of bounces, but I always found once he got 1 or 2 bounces in, he could never bounce the ball properly. Not that he couldn't bounce it properly, but it wasn't always clean, but just his athleticism to still stay in control of the ball and finish the way he could. You got to feel sorry for the likes of Cale Hooker there, chasing him down like that. But it was just interesting that the way he can... Someone at his height was able to do that sort of stuff. I know there were people that came out, Shane Crawford came out and said that in the 400 metres, obviously Buddy, when he was younger, had a 400 metre and athletics background, state champion, I believe, to his name, but he would actually challenge the likes of Shane Crawford and all the other people who were known to be really good runners in the Hawthorn Football Club. So it was interesting that. So that's one of the moments, and obviously possibly the last time we'll ever see it, 2008, when he kicked his 100th goal.
Lewis judged that nicely, and the Hawks go into attack. Dishes off to Rioli. Rioli shorts it. Here's the moment. Franklin's got it. A beautiful Anthony Hudson handball too it was too. So Lance Franklin, there's the security guards. They are lining up by the dozens. I don't think it's going to be enough. Lance Franklin.
All the players are moving towards the middle of the ground in anticipation.
20 seconds gone. Here he comes. On 99 goals. Lance Franklin joins the 100 club. And people power has spoken. Out they come by their thousands. Just a 20.
Now, I don't know if we'll ever see it again. Everyone thought it could have been a possibility this year when Charlie Curnow and Jeremy Cameron went off to a flying start, but they both quiet down a bit in the middle. But I think that may very well be the last time we ever see 100 goals kicked in one season, and what a moment it was. And for him to kick his 1,000th goal as well, to watch all the players run on the ground, was an unreal moment. Another one that comes from top of mind when I'm thinking of Buddy is Anthony Hudson's call of his 13 goals.
Suckling, the wind-up, Smith off the left, here's Buddy. This is the main event. Buddy Franklin for 10 goals, this absolute superstar. First time ever, 10 goals for Buddy Franklin.
Virgil's been outstanding.
Here he is again, Franklin. So Buddy Franklin looking for number 11. He's getting into uncharted territory now. That is 11 for Buddy. So on the 50, a minute to go. Here we go. Buddy Franklin for 12. Sometimes you just got to sit back and enjoy the show. Might not be over yet. 5 seconds to go. He let it bounce. 13! 13! Can you believe it? He's kicked 13 on the siren.
And it was just amazing to see someone kick 13 goals. But I think what made that moment more is the credibility to Anthony Hudson's call of it. It was just an unreal call. Now, we also do have a couple of other retirements that happened as of today. So we also have Shannon Hearn. So I'm recording this on Tuesday. Shannon Hearn retired. What a warrior he's been for the West Coast Eagles. 330 games, 50 goals off that half-back line. Just captain courageous. Was West Coast. He was a captain of the Eagles in 2015 and 2019. Was a premiership captain in 2018. He's a West Coast games record holder. It's currently standing at 330 as we speak. He's a two-time All-Australian in 2018 and 2019. He had the honour of being named vice-captain. In 2019, he was also the AFLPA best captain in the whole competition, 2019, and he's a 3 times Glendenning Allen medalist. So let me know in the comments what you guys think of Shannon Hearn. When I think of Shannon Hearn, I just think that beautiful kick he's got off that half-back line, and it's really damaging, and he just doesn't look like he ages. It could have looked like he could keep going if you ask me, but he is getting on, and I'm not surprised by the decision, but I do see how he could have still went on, if that makes sense. But the most interesting one we have, the big one of this season has been the control of concussion and the lawsuit and the going to court, the old players coming in and talking about their past experience and trying to sue the AFL. So former Collingwood player and former now Hawthorn ruckman Max Lynch has announced his retirement as of this Tuesday afternoon or evening due to continuous concussions and not being able to get back out in the field, which is a really sad sign. So I'm happy that decision has been made and he hasn't pushed his body. Will that happen? Now, I want to keep a close eye on, will this now happen to Paddy McCartan? Paddy McCartan, when he's come back and played for Sydney, all means, sorry, as I said, water. All means, he's made his career back and as a defender, and he's been magnificent. But it's the way that he's getting his concussions. He's hardly getting touched, and then I just fear for his safety. They've cleared him once to go out and play. Will they clear him again, or will he even just stand out and say, "Look, I understand. I'm not. I don't want to put my body through this." It'll be interesting to know, but yeah. So as we move on to a couple of other topics I want to discuss, let's may as well go through the round as we do, and so obviously we'll start with the cricket. Sorry, the 5th Test of the Oval. Obviously, the series was 2-2 in the end, but Aussies retain the Ashes after a washout in the last Test, after getting to a 2-0 lead. So first innings, England made 283 of Harry Brook, top scoring at 85 from 91. Mitchell Starc took 4 for 82 for the Aussies. The Aussies in return made 295 with Steve Smith top scoring for them with 71 from 123, while Chris Wokes, hasn't he had a good series since coming into the side, took 3 for 61. In the second innings, England did not look like they were going out at one point. I remember watching it. I was at JP's Bucks. We'll talk about it more when we get JP back and when we tie in with his wedding. But I remember watching it at a bar with one of our mates, Hodgie, and I was just like, we're never getting them out. I think it was when Bairstow and Root were in. I was like, we're not getting them out. So England, we ended up getting them out for 395. Root making 91 and Johnny Bairstow making 78, while Zach Crawley also made 73. Mitch Starc took 4 for 100. And Todd Murphy popped up for a 4 for 110. In reply, Usman Khawaja made 72 from 145. Steve Smith made 54, while Chris Wokes continued with 4 for 50, and Moeen Ali had 3 for 76, ultimately having England win that game by 49 runs. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I was watching it at home in my bed, just doing some preparation notes and that, and I was like, geez, we're in a really good position. Steve Smith looked like he was calming the ship. Travis Head looked like he would be stay with him. And I think I might have turned it off after lunch. And I just was like, how have we, when I checked the scores in the morning, like, how's that happened? But the one I want to talk about, there's been a lot of bizarre moments that's happened this series. This one's got to be up there. Ben Stokes with his bizarre drop catch. So I want you guys to let me know in the comments what went wrong. Do you guys think that he threw it up in the air? Threw it down in celebration, or he just didn't have control? Obviously, in the end, it was deemed not out, that he didn't have full control of the ball. So I'd like to know if you guys think that was the right decision. Player of the match was Chris Wokes with 7 wickets. The Australian player of the series was Mitchell Starc, who was very solid with 23 wickets at 27.08 bowling average and best figures of 578. Well, the England player of the series, as I mentioned before, was Chris Wokes with 19 wickets, an average of 18.14 and best figures of 562. Now, prior to this test starting, we had an England, we'll say legend, announce his retirement, Stuart Broad. Geez, what a player and what a career he's had. Some of the stats we can go through here is 167 test matches. He took 604 wickets, bowling average of 27.68. Anything below 30 is exceptional. Best bowling of 8 for 15. And he also made a century. His batting could go a bit underrated, but he could definitely hold his own when he was batting. I know he made 13 50s as well, and I'm pretty sure he made an 80 against us at the G1 series, and he made a top score of 169. And just a magnificent series he had. Love him or hate him, he was a magnificent bowler, so you can't take that away from him. As we may as well move into a bit of the footy talk now as well. I'm here. It just won't be as in-depth chat as it would be if I had the other boys here. But Collingwood v Carlton. Collingwood suffering the loss, 10-16-76, defeated by the Carlton that we've been waiting for all year and expected to have all year, 14-9-93. Some of the goal kickers, you had Howe with 3, McStay with 2. Charlie popped up for another bag of 6. Martin kicked 3 and Motlop kicked 2. Nick Dacos, although didn't have the massive influence he normally has, had 28 with 9 scoring bombs, 6 clearances and 6 tackles. Josh Dacos had 27 at 85% efficiency, and De Goey had 25 with 5 clearances. Nick Newman was solid down black for the Blues with 27 going at 85%, 10 marks, 9 intercepts and 7 tackles, while Blake Acres off the wing at 23. Some of the things I noticed while watching the game was, as I mentioned, this is the Carlton we have been waiting for. It's taken a while. They started off with a couple of good games early on in the season, but they just lost their way, and I don't know what it was. But what does this mean for Collingwood? Are we worried about Collingwood? I know in the last month that they've been beaten at the ground ball gets. Is that, I don't know what that is. Is that the lack of not having Tom Mitchell maybe spending a bit more in the midfield? But that could be interesting to look at. Obviously, Charlie Curnow kicked 6, but might be sound biased here, but there was some questionable free kicks in there, and I know I've had a couple of conversations with people who actually brought that up with me, and I went back and watched them. I thought, so yeah, but nothing away from Charlie Curnow there. But Jeremy Howe, the forward, ? It's the credit with Jeremy Howe. He obviously wasn't doing enough back, and we needed something down forward. Now we got Darcy Moore down there. We got Nathan Murphy. The thing I think needs to happen at the Pies at the moment, Billy Frampton needs to play in that team as a defender, not as a forward, not as a ruck. He needs to be playing as a key defender as he was recruited, and that frees up Darcy Moore to play his game. Another person that needs to be playing is Ash Johnson. Ash Johnson is just that wild card, and you don't know what's going to happen. He's going to pop up for a mark. He could have a shocking game. He could have a really good game. He's that wild card that you need in the team, especially come finals. Does he make way? Does he come in for the like of a Mason Cox? We'll have to wait and see. Well, Cherub did his hamstring. Geelong Fremantle, 9-10-64. Freo got up by 7 points. Hawkins and Henry kicking 2. Corbett, Schultz and Frederick kicked the 2. Duncan was really good off the half-back line with 27 touches at 85%, 8 marks, 9 intercepts, while Stewart was also exceptional with 25, 11 marks, 8 intercepts, 12 rebound 50s, and 766 metres gained. So wrong, so right. Caleb Sarong at 29 with 7 clearances. Brayshaw 28 at 8 scoring moments, 7 inside 50s, and a massive 11 tackles, while Ryan had 28 with 10 intercepts, 10 rebound 50s, and 644 metres game. Some of the things, Freo snapped the 4-game losing streak. It was a good game to watch. I know I was flicking between this one and the next game we'll touch on, but it was a very good game to watch. And one of the other points I've got down here, Michael Frederick's last quarter. Jeez, he was extraordinary. He was exceptional. He was just everywhere, providing that spark, the quickness and the electric speed he brings. And that goal from the pocket, oh my God, there was no way of stopping that. And he just looked like to be everywhere, came in his own. And shout out to Chris Scott, though, overtook Greg Hickey's, the longest-serving Geelong coach, currently at 305. Some injuries for some big men for the Geelong Cats, though, with Blixars and Hawkins both doing hamstrings. Now, this was a ripping game. Western Bulldogs and GWS. GWS got up by 6 points. English and Treloar kicked 2. Green kicked 5. Riccardi kicked 3. Some of the disposals, you have some massive games here with Bailey Dale off the half-back line, 37, and at 793 metres gained. Liberatore had 35 with 10 clearances. Treloar had 34 with 2 goals, 9 score involvement, 7 clearances. McRae had 32 with 9 clearances. Bont had 27 with 7 clearances. English had 25, 33 hitouts, 2 goals, 7 inside 50 and 7 score involvements. Well, if you go over to the Giants, they also had some big game plays with Whitfield off that half-back line, electric with 36, 81% efficiency. Cornelio also had 34 with 7 clearances and 9 tackles. And Lockie Ash had 30 with 7 rebound 50s, while Kelly also had 25 with a mammoth 14 tackles. Some of the things in this game, though, when in doubt, Toby Green stands up, kicking 4 of his 5 goals in the third quarter. Now, Taylor DeRay had a really good first half on him, but then Toby Green, when you needed him the most, he stood up. And dare I say it, this GWS team is dangerous. It is really dangerous. Marcus Bontempelli had 13 touches in the first quarter after Adam Kingsley came out in the press conference and early in the week and said they did have a plan for Bontempelli, as he did tear him up last time I played him, but then just let him run free in the first quarter, allowing him to collect 13 touches. That didn't last long because it started the second quarter. Cement hit himself. Callum Ward went straight to him around the stoppages, keeping to 14 touches for the next 3 quarters, which was crucial in the game. Both halfbacks were brilliant for each team. Bailey Dow with 37 and Lockie Whitfield with 36. And Sam Taylor is another one who was huge with 8 marks and a game high 15 intercept possessions and shut Norton down to just 1 goal. Now, unlucky for Josh Bruce, it's been confirmed he's done an ACL and Keith has a concussion. Bit of a surprise game, this one, Gold Coast and Brisbane. So Gold Coast 15-6-96 defeated Brisbane 7-13-55 by 41 points. Ben King finally bounced back with some form, kicking 5 and doing a really good job keeping Harris Andrews quiet. Ainsworth and Casbolt both kicked the 2. Charlie Cameron kicked 2 as well. Flanders continues his good form with 32. Anderson 29, Miller 29, Atkins 28, Power 28. Dunkley had 30 with 9 clearances. McCluggage had 28. Some of the talking points you had there was from the first bounce, Gold Coast made some really good positioning and strategies to shut down players. So one of the ones was Took Miller, put his hand up early in the week and said, I want to go to Lockie Neal. He went to Lockie Neal and he kept him to just 17 disposals and 4 clearances, which everyone knows Lockie Neal's clearance game is elite. So to keep him to just that, another one they did, as I mentioned earlier, Ben King went to Harris Andrews and just played on him and let Harris Andrews take him to the ball. Jackson Payne was trying to go with him, but then that let someone else free. So they were in no man's land, which allowed Ben King to pop up for the 5 goals. Another one they did was allow Noah Anderson to sometimes start in the middle, sometimes start in the wing, sometimes start at half forward. Confuse their midfielder about who was on him, and then often the ball came out of stoppages to Noah Anderson, delivering the ball with exceptional ball use. And Lions top 2's hopes after that loss is now on the ropes. Another cracking game I actually watched from Crown during the Bucks night was that last quarter, Essendon v Sydney. Essendon 15-9-99, defeated by Sydney 15-11-101. Kyle Langford kicked 5 and Peter Wright kicked 4. While you go over to the Sydney Swans, Amadi kicked 4, Wicks kicked 3, Papley and Heaney kicked 2. Merritt was huge with 39 and 9 clearances. Parrish had 27, Caldwell 27 and 11 clearances, and Heppel 25. If you go over to the Sydney Swans, Gordon with 37 and 725 metres gain. Lloyd 31 going at 87% efficiency, and Campbell had 26 and Warner had 26 as well. Errol Gordon for All-Australian. At the moment, I'm going to say I have him in my team, and Rampy has also done a calf as we quickly go to the showdown. Now, this was definitely a surprise. As I just grabbed this book for the next segment as we got coming up. Adelaide v Port Adelaide, Walker. Adelaide getting the job done by 47 points. Walker kicked 7, Fogarty 2, Pedler 2, Keys 2, McAdam, Murphy and Sloan. For Port, Frankie Evans popped up for 4 and the rest were single goal kickers. Taylor Walker took home the showdown medal, but not far, followed by Jordan Dawson, who had 34, 10 scoring involvements, 7 inside 50s and 627 metres game. Matt Crouch had 32, going at 91% with 12 clearances, and Malira had 32, going 32 with 672 metres gained. Butters for the Port at 32 with 6 clearances. Rosie 26. Houston also 26 with 622 metres gained. Some of the talking points are Tex dominates the showdown. Let me just put it like this, guys. If we were talking about this two years ago, I would have not argued if someone told me Taylor Walker's done. He's not getting a contract. No one else wants him. I wouldn't argue that. Maybe another club might have picked him up, but he was just in some shocking form. The turnaround Taylor Walker has needs some applause because it's been extraordinary. He's one of their most crucial players in Adelaide at the moment, and geez, he's just in some unreal touch, and he's only 5 or 6 goals away from Charlie Kerner in the Coleman medal race, so it's not over yet. Matt Crouch was dominant around the contest for the Crows with his contract up in questions. Will Adelaide renew it, and will another club look for him? If you know, let me know in the comments of who you think Matt Crouch would fit. I'm thinking of Geelong Cats to give it out to some of those younger ones like Tanner Bruin and Max Holmes. He can do the grunt work inside and get the clearances out to them. Wayne Malira's drive off the halfback was critical. Now, the big talking point was Lear's head clash with Lockie Jones. Jones was subbed out with a migraine, but Lear was cleared and returned to the field just 7 minutes later. There's a big fine coming to the AFL. I don't know what it is yet. It hasn't been confirmed. Big fine from the AFL to Port Adelaide, sorry. This was a disgrace. This was an utter disgrace. Lear did not know where he was when he got hit. He looked worse than Jones. He almost looked like he was dead, for God's sake. That was a disgrace that they didn't even put him through the test that Jones went through, that everyone should go through as a concussion. Port Adelaide need to have a good, long, hard look at themselves because that's a bloody disgrace. Another one, and then some of the injuries there. You got Butts, who did his ankle, Jones, migraine, and Bergman, groin. But yeah, Port Adelaide, get your shit together because that's a disgrace. And it also happened last year with Tom Jonas and Xavier Dersma or Zach Butters, one of them. Hawthorn v St Kilda. Now, Saints were in a bit of trouble in this game until they ran away with it in the last quarter, getting home by 29 points. Luke Bruce for the Hawks kicked 6. Lewis and Wingard and Day both kicked 2. For the Saints, Butler kicked 4, Crouch 3, Higgins, Sharman and Caminiti kicked the 2. Impey had 31 and 11 marks to go along with it for the Hawks. Warple had 30 and 7 clearances. Wingard 20 was exceptional with 26, 2 goals and 10 score involvements. Sicily had his impact nullified by Cooper Sharman, but still got the 26, 7 marks and 8 intercepts, but not the same metres gained as you would notice. And notice from Sicily, the way he can impact a game is phenomenal, and the way Cooper Sharman shut him out was really good, I thought. But you can't keep a great player down like that forever. Obviously, we've seen it with Dacos, still able to get those touches, but if you can nullify their impact, that's the key. Someone who I think's come out of, not coming out of nowhere, but his second or third year, he's having an exceptional season off that half-back line for the St Kilda. Wanganeen Malira had 33, gone at 82% efficiency and took 10 marks. Crouch had 32 and he was really good actually. Crouch 32, 3 goals, 12 score runs and 8 clearances. A ripping game there from Crouch. Sinclair also had 26, gone at 92% efficiency, and Wood had 25. Some of the things from this game are Hawks fight back, but the Saints run away with it in the last, ultimately keeping their finals chance alive. I don't think Saints will make it, but this was a good start. Hawks mid-season rookie draftee Brandon Ryan shows promise on debut. 8 disposals, 5 marks, and a nice classy goal there. So this one's a future for the Hawks. Some of the injuries, you got Jones with a knee, and Sharman injured his leg. Richmond Melbourne. This was also an interesting game. This one, we had a lot of interesting games this weekend. In the end, Melbourne getting it done by 32 points and kicking a mammoth 20 goals. But for the Tigers, 15-8, 98. Martin with the 3 and McIntosh and Baker with the 2. Petty kicked 6 for the Ds. Van Rowan kicked 4 for the Ds. Melksham 4 and Pickett 2. Some of the disposals, Bolton, who had 25, 8 clearances, 11 inside 50, 7 scoring involvements, and 606 metres gained. And Tirana had 24 to go along with 9 clearances. Viney for the Ds had 32 with 7 clearances. Petrarca 29, 8 clearances, 8 inside 50s, 4 goal assists, and 13 scoring involvements. So big game there for Petrarca. Another big game is for the skipper, Gorn, 28 with 40 hit-outs, 11 clearances, 8 inside 50s, and 10 scoring involvements. Harrison Petty shines as a forward with a career-high 6 goals, and their forward line for once actually looked like it functioned really well. So is this one way they're going to look through in the future? We'll have to wait and see. Jacob Van Ruin also kicked a career-high 4 goals, while Melksham also continues his form with 4 goals. He's so crucial to that Melbourne forward line. And the last game of the round, how many people tuned into this one? And I know if you're a North supporter, you are not happy with this. West Coast beating you guys by 5 points, 72 to 67. Allen kicked 2, Cripps 2. For the Kangaroos, you had Curtis with 4, Larky and Cherry with 2. Some of the disposals, the Eagles, Kelly had 26 to go along with 7 clearances. Sheed 26, Gaff 25, and Jaden Hunt 25 and 9 score involvements. For the Kangaroos, Sheasel had 31 and 9 rebound 50s. Davies Uniac 30 to go along with 8 clearances and 566 metres gained. Some of the talking points is West Coast Eagles snap at 16-game losing streak. Magnificent there, but I don't know how long this build's going to take. It's going to take a while. It's going to take at least minimum 5 years. What does this mean for North? It's not a great look for them. They do get Clarkson back next week, but how much can he do in a few weeks? Not much probably, but Paul Curtis showed some light there with 4 goals in the second quarter. It's good to have Luke Davies-Uniacke back from injury and in some good form. Now, I'll go with my team of the week as well. Okay, so my team of the week, I'll post on Instagram, YouTube Shorts probably if it's under a minute. I'm not quite sure yet. Facebook and TikTok. But this is for the listeners who are just listening to the potty. And if you've tuned out now, apologies for that. This is just what we've had to do. And I thought it was too critical. And I just wanted to get something out for you guys to listen to. But we do have some big things coming, so stay tuned for that. Full back line from the Adelaide Crows, Wayne Malira, Alex Pearce, and Jake Lloyd. Lockie Whitfield, Sam Taylor, and Bailey Dale round out my half back line. My centre line is Errol Goulden, Matt Crouch, and Andrew Brayshaw. My half forward line is Kyle Langford, Taylor Walker, and Toby Green. Full forward line, Harrison Petty, Charlie Curnow, Luke Bruce. My followers are Max Gawn, Brad Crouch, Zach Merritt. My interchange is Tim English, Adam Chalor, Jordan Dawson, Ben King, and my sub is Wangani Malira. Now, there was a few changes to the Rolling All-Australian, so we will go through that as well as we're nearing the end of the episode. So a couple changes to this one. So full back line, Sam Taylor comes in for Isaac Quainer. He's had an exceptional... It'll be interesting to see if he's had enough games to credit what he deserves because he's had an exceptional year to back it up from last year as well. Harris Andrews and James Sicily keep their spot. Half back line stays the same with Dan Houston, Darcy Moore, and Jack Sinclair. Josh Dacos on the wing, Marcus Bonapelli. Now I'm going to cop... They're not here right now, but I'm going to cop so much stick for this. Nick Martin hasn't found himself on a wing spot here. This player here is season has been too hard to ignore. So Errol Goulden and Josh Dacos are my 2 wingers as we speak. My half forward line, Toby Green, Joe Danaher, and Christian Petrarca. Full forward line, Kyle Langford comes into the side. Really good season as to date, just constantly kicking goals, and he can play anywhere. He can play in the mid, he can play down back. So he comes in for Jamie Elliott, Charlie Curnow, and Taylor Walker. My midfield, Tim English, Jordan Dawson, Nick Dacos. And my bench, Tom Liberatore, Connor Rosie, Zach Butters, Caleb Sarong, and my sub is Zach Merritt. Just to go over ins, Sam Taylor for Isaac Quainer, Errol Gordon for Nick Martin, Kyle Langford for Jamie Elliott. Now, it's just about time we end the show, so I'm going to round off with the tips for next week. So Friday night at Marvel Stadium, we have got Western Bulldogs v Richmond. I'm going to go with the Bulldogs. And let us know in the comments who you're going for as well. In Saturday, the 1:45 p.m. game at Marvel Stadium, we got Essendon v West Coast, going with Essendon. 2:10 on Saturday at Adelaide Oval, Adelaide v Gold Coast, and going with the Crows. The MCG, 4:35 p.m, Hawthorn v Collingwood, I'm going to go with the Pies. First 7:25 p.m. game, Geelong v Port at HBA Stadium. You know what? I'm going to go with the Cats. 7:30, GWS v Sydney, the Battle of the Breach, and I'm backing the informed Giants. There's something about them. Keep an eye on them. 1:10 on Sunday, North v Melbourne at Bloodstone Arena. I'm going to go with Melbourne. 3:20 game, Marvel Stadium, St Kilda and Carlton. I'm going to go with Carlton. And the rounded off at Optus Stadium, 4:40, Freo v Brisbane, and I'm going to go with Brisbane. All right, guys, that wraps up this episode of Up the Guts. Make sure you're following all our socials. And apologies about this, but it was too much of a big week to not mention anything. But we do have a guest coming up in the next week or so stay tuned for that. Cheers, guys.